Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to get a quick video out on trading with Bollinger Bands and how you could sort of use them to your advantage. Day trading. This goes for all time frames, but I find them to be very helpful when intraday trading on smaller time frames like the 1 and 5 minute. So I have the SPY chart up here. I'm going to go over my trade today and how it could have provided you anywhere from a quick 5% to anywhere up to 35% gains in, roughly 1 to maybe 25 minutes, depending on how patient you are. So what I want to focus on is going over more or less how I use Bollinger Bands and how I can explain them to you without getting all technical and, really interpret them for you guys and how I look at them. So when I visualize Bollinger Bands, I sort of like to think of rubber bands. Um, you know, Rubber bands can keep things together, like a stack of money. The rubber band is tied around it nice and tight, but the rubber bands also can bend, they can break. They're not necessarily stiff. So Bollinger Bands act as support and resistance levels, but like I said, they bend, um, and they're not very stiff when it comes to their resistance marks as some other price levels can be. Um, so usually when price spikes outside of the Bollinger Bands, either on the upside or the downside, it signals an overextended move. So if it pops out on the upside, it typically signals an overbought um, territory, and usually price likes to get back inside those Bollinger Bands and keep constricted within that range. Same on the downside. If the price pierces the bottom band, typically it signals a oversold territory. And like I said, price likes to enter back into the the configuration of the band. So today I want to have you zoom in on the open here. This is early morning. I took this trade very early. I want to focus in on this level here, in particular this candle. So on the 5 minute, we're going to look here. Now, this 290.44 level is off the daily chart and off the weekly chart. Now, these levels are great for intraday trading as they are very important levels on the higher time frames. So a lot of those higher time frames carry down into the smaller time frames that are great for day trading. Now, my team and the clients that I serve, I give out these levels for a reason. People pay me for these kind of levels because they are always so on point. I take very great pride in um, providing a roadmap for myself and for my clients. Now, this 290.44 is a key support on the daily chart and the weekly chart, like I said. So today, what we were doing, this red line up here at 290.82 was the previous day high. So we were gapping up above this high for about the 6th day in a row. Now, typically when that happens, the momentum continues over to the upside. So we had a nice open around here at 290.98. We'll call it 291. We had a spike to about the 291.40 range, which was the high of the day. Now, if we zoom in here and focus on this candle and where that top Bollinger Band is, it clearly spiked through the top Bollinger Band. Now, this is major for a fact that we saw a lot of selling come in. Typically, the last 6 sessions we've seen a gap and go where we opened higher than the previous day and continued trending up for the rest of the session. Today was the complete opposite. Now, if we can start off by looking at the top Bollinger Band and seeing where we open up, both of our opening candles here, the first 10 minutes were both overextended. Now, this was telling me I don't want to buy calls here for that gap and go setup. I want to be patient and see how this reacts. So right off the bat, my Bollinger Band on the upside is telling me what has worked the past 6 sessions with the gap and go play is going to have extra risk today because of how we were overextended already on the 5 minute. Now, same goes for the 1 minute. If we take a peek over here, we were outside of the 1 minute top Bollinger Band as well. Now, right off the bat, like I said, this gave me a clear signal that I wanted to be patient. Now, what I was looking for was, obviously a pullback maybe back into the previous day high for support. This sell-off was pretty rampant. Volume came in down here on the downside, as you can see, and we broke through the previous day high and ended up getting to our 290.44 support. Now, this is very important. This level was key in the session previously. As we look here, 1, 2, 3 candles around the high of the day. It ultimately held between that 10:30 and 11 o'clock range. It held as the resistance level. So this resistance was obviously going to be in my mind today going forward, given the fact that we were gapping up above it. So I was looking for this play to be somewhat of a support level. Now, when I'm looking at this 5-minute and the 1-minute chart, I'm looking for an overextension near my support, oversold indicators, something that's going to be giving me intentions that there might be money coming into this play at this support level. Now, look at where the price, look at where the low was on this candle, and look at where the Bollinger Band was. We were pretty drastically below it, maybe about 20 cents below that bottom Bollinger Band on the 5-minute. We go down to the 1-minute, same deal. I was looking, this was a pretty fast sell-off too. 3 candles, about $1 a share to the downside very quickly. And, we had an oversold MACD and an overextended candle here on the 1-minute chart. So oversold on the 1-minute and on the 5-minute here. Now this was giving me a quick entry spot to say I'm going to take a low risk call here, because if I'm right and money comes into this play, we have this bounce like we saw. If I'm wrong and this support doesn't hold and we fight oversold indicators and continue trending down, I'm going to get out as immediately as this support proves to me that 1 or 2 candles doesn't hold this, and I'll stop out for a quick, easy loss. Now, that obviously wasn't the case. Money came in on this level, and we saw a nice bounce from lows of 290.31 up to highs around here at 291.06. So about 75 cents a share in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes before continuing downwards. This is all you need to pay for your entire day. Now, I'll tell you where I bought and where I sold, and you're going to look at me and say, this should be a lot easier than it seems, trading options. I bought down here at a roughly, 290.40, 290.35, and sold around the top of this candle and into the lows of this candle at about 290.56. Now, I made about 20 cents a share roughly on the SPY, and that yielded my options contracts 5% gains in 2 minutes. Now, 5% is all I need for myself to, put money into my account and right back into the bank and start over and refresh and get all that money back invested. Now, I sold way too early, and I'll tell you the reason I sold too early is because the previous day high failed. Now, that gap failed. That was giving me a little bit of concern. Maybe this was just a quick bounce that was going to get, started to get sellers more involved. And I wanted to get out quickly, take my profits, and minimize my risk as much as I could. Now, I held, if I would have held, you could have made up to 30, 35, 40% on this nice 75 cent bounce. Predictable. Overextended on the 1-minute, outside of the bottom Bollinger Band. Overextended on our MACD. And if we go over to our 5-minute, same situation. Outside of our bottom Bollinger Band. And that was all I needed to say I'm going to take low risk entry here and hope for a bounce. Now, hope isn't a strategy, but when you have all of these indicators aligning in and you know when your exit is going to, arise if the price goes against you, that's a low risk, high reward setup. Now, I trade like this every day throughout every session. I strongly advise you guys do the same. I give out these levels all the time and even commentate saying, hey, we're getting oversold at this level. And for $29.99 a month, the prices just went up. For that cheap, I'm telling you, you can make your money back. For my yearly subscription, you can make your money back in 1 or 2 sessions like that based off these levels if you learn how to trade like this. And I'm going to try and provide more educational content for you guys on the YouTube. But obviously, the chat room is the place to be um, if you aren't familiar with that. The website is threepeatinvestments.com. I'll leave a link down below. Thanks for watching.